And otherwise, it's a 2 for 2.
Okay, well, speaking of two for twos, hello and welcome to this week's episode of Pit Against a live Flesh and Blood Call-In show. I'm William, Table and Legs, and I'm joined by my constant co-host Kevin Smurph Murphy. Kevin, what's up?
What's up?
Pit Against is a live call-in show. If you'd like to be live on air talking to us about your take, join the Pit Against Discord by clicking on the link that's in the description. Join the waiting room channel. Put your hot take in the topics text channel. If you'd like your take, we'll put you on for a mic check and put you on air. You may also put your take in the topics text channel or in the stream chat or in the comments, and I might bring it up myself. What actually is up? What has your week been like?
An average work week, scrambling to get the rest of the Prism Primer done, and recording the last of the VOD reviews for London, which I just did the last game I recorded.
I've not been paying attention to your release schedule other than just watching every time they come out. Do you have a release schedule?
I try and get it so it's one video every 3 days.
Oh, that's very tight turnaround.
But it slipped to like 4.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, it's roughly 2 videos a week.
Okay. That's a lot.
Which is not bad considering for all the primer stuff I'm doing all of the prep work at work.
Oh yeah.
And the only work I have to do at home is make the presentation and record.
Holy
and then edit.
Freak. All right.
So all of the like information stuff is already done.
Yeah, I have a similar thing where I wanted to get a project video out every 2 weeks, and so it's been about every month and a half.
Yep.
An aggressive schedule is absolutely how I would describe that.
I'm exhausted.
So I guess the big thing that we should talk about, if I assume other people could have takes on this. I've seen a lot of takes online. The very obvious thing, the big buzz, everyone's talking about it because I want a battle hardened. It's a real deck now. It's a tier 1 deck.
No.
The joke being that the actual buzz is on a dev talk, but Kasai did win a battle hardened.
Kasai did win a battle hardened.
Yeah.
The deck was doing better stuff than I thought, but it was just like it played blood on her hands. And also, the Fi in the finals had a really, really crunchy turn that was just like not it. Like it was just what the heck?
What is the heck?
Oh god. Okay. Never mind. But I don't know. Andrew just good. Yeah, I mean Andrew Rothermel is just like
no. I like the first sentence that Timothy put. Deck still trash. I'm reading this take. So let me bring up. I'll bring up another take so that you can talk about that while I read this other take. What is the meta right now? Nice hat, thank you. Unless you mean Kevin's hat, but I think it's my hat because it looks awesome.
Probably.
The meta right now is Florian.
It's Florian and responses to Florian, which is just
Wizard?
what Aurora was. I mean, yeah, Wizard is actually like pretty good right now. Even Acilio is like fine. Because it's not like I don't know. It's just like we're in the same meta. It's just Florian at the top, and there's no Aurora. So then it's just kind of like, what are we doing? And like we have 3 battle hardens coming up before High Seas release, but also like the majority of the world is just in High Seas waiting room.
Smack to reality.
Yeah.
I want Guardian to be back.
I don't know if Guardian is back yet.
Guardian's not back yet. I think they definitely need a set tailored specifically for them with cards that help shore up weaknesses and push
cards that explicitly target Guardian.
Yeah, like something that allows a person to
have on hits when they only hit Guardian.
Oh yeah, well that's the funniest part.
Yeah.
Only if they stack.
Yeah, like Smack Reality also just like doesn't do anything if they're not on the Scepter plan.
Wizards only.
It doesn't do nothing, but it's just not
stack. Yeah.
as relevant.
Yeah.
And Florian is just like so ludicrously efficient, and his fridge is just insane. Barkskin is so good against Guardian. It's like
I don't know.
Guardian just like
Yeah.
I don't know how Guardian like reliably beats Florian.
I don't know why anyone's complaining about Guardian right now, because
Oh, you just got Mastery Pack cards, literally live.
okay. Well, I was going to say I don't see why anyone's complaining about Guardian right now, because Guardian's the best deck in the format in Florian. It's looking like we just got.
Sorry, you just got a Macho Grande reprint.
This Macho Grande looks sick, actually.
It does. Okay, so what is this one?
Macho Grande
field,
replay.
4/8 crush. Deals 4 or more. Destroy Seismic Surge. Sure.
That's
control. Not a real card. Destroy the top card of their deck. That's cute. It's a 3/7 crush. Crash and Bash. When this defends, you may reveal a card with crush from your hand. If you do, create a Seismic Surge. It's a 0/4 block. That's not bad.
I'm trying to figure out what the frick Grind Them Down is and how that is a Guardian card.
Oh,
it looks like a
that did not pop up.
Medieval mechanologist card.
Database page.
Crash and Bash.
3/7 crush. Oh, that's the mill one.
Yeah, mill. When this defends, they may reveal a card with crush from your hand. If you do, create a size. That card's gonna be great.
That card is pretty sick with all the 4-cost crushes.
If they get more 4-cost crushes, that card's insane. It's a common. Especially because you're going to reveal a crush card, so you already have a crush card. Yeah. Now it is a block, so it suffers from the you need to use this right now, especially a red block.
Yep.
You need to use this right now.
Cannot Arsenal.
So your deck would have to be tailored to play something like this. I don't know. That's kind of cute. I kind of like it. Yeah, Florian, best Guardian.
It does not work with Macho Grande.
Macho Grande doesn't have crush. Pulverize doesn't have crush. I feel like Pulverize would be a really good card for Valdo, but
yes, Heave is pretty good with Valdo.
Especially when they announce that there's a piece of equipment that cares about having 6+.
How many Seismic Surges?
How many Seismic Surges? Yes. Yeah. Pulverize sounds pretty great. I don't know. Guardian's still definitely my second favorite class. So I'm very excited to see what happens. I'm excited to watch
Guardian's just gone.
I'm excited to just watch them do whatever they're doing. Just feel proud. Actually, it's going to be fun playing Guardian in the Pit Fighter set that I'm excited about. They got a new Victor, and he's dope. Victor
looks sick.
That Victor is awesome, and then also there's a guy
in multiplayer.
Yeah. Bolfar.
The weapons one.
Yeah, he's like KO with an extra arm cut off because he can't hold any weapons.
Yep.
And I believe there's a rule that says you can only have one offhand, so you can only have a shield or a fan.
Yes.
Proud father.
I think so.
All right. Enough with spoilers. If you want to hear someone drone on about spoilers, you can find another podcast. But I think Clark actually has a really interesting take on the LL system, and I've heard a lot of complaints about it. Do you want to pull in our caller?
Sure.
All right. And if you want to be a caller on the show, all you got to do is call in. And if you want to be as nice as Roswell for pointing out my cute hat, if you want Roswell to point out your cute hats, I know they said nice, but if you want me to point out your cute hats, you can go over to our merch store at merch.
Hello.
At something. Hello. We got a caller here. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Clark Moore, and I'm calling from Cypress, California.
Oh, heck yeah. What do you want to talk about on the show?
So, the big discussion from the dev talk is all about Aurora LLing, right?
Yeah.
That feels like the big hot topic is they had this hero that they designed for new players. They give a first strike deck. They give an armory deck, and then 2 months later, she's gone. And everyone's talking about how terrible that is for the game and how scary it is for the game. So how do we stop that from happening again? Because I think everyone agrees that Aurora was pretty fairly balanced, yeah?
Pretty all right.
She was strong,
Mostly.
but like, was she like Starvo strong? Was she like
No.
Chain strong?
Uh-uh.
No.
I mean, no, but her power level relative to the rest of the format was still an issue.
I will.
Yeah,
Thank you,
certainly.
Roswell. I will caveat that when she did LL, I wasn't thinking about how fast she LL'd until someone told me, because I think I was ready for her to LL.
Yeah.
But that's just a me thing. Go ahead.
Just because, like, in your head, the best deck LLing is not a surprise.
Yeah.
That's what the system is there for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it also felt like she'd been pretty good for a while. I mean, it's a few months, but I also have short memory, so.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much since she came out, she was the leading Rosetta hero in getting points since Rosetta came out. So
Yeah.
definitely she had been around for a while. But I remember online, all the pro players, all the podcasts with pro players, everyone was typically saying, yeah, no, we're kind of okay with Aurora. Like, Aurora was very strong, but not ridiculously so. We could all find ways of beating Aurora. And then she won a bunch of events and she LL'd.
Yeah.
It feels fine, but it's a big issue that there was this whole streamlined player experience, and then it feels like it got cut off really early, much earlier than they wanted. So, I suggest a fearless draft system. So, for those of you who do not know Fearless Draft, this was something that happened recently in the League of Legends esports community.
Wait, recently?
Where
Wait, did it actually
League of
happen?
Legends- Yes.
What?
It is currently, it is rolled out to the entire League of Legends.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I've heard
Yeah.
people complain about that since like what, 2020, 2019, 2018.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy frick.
So, context
Wow.
for listeners and watchers who do not know anything about League of Legends esports, since about, as Will was just saying there, 2018, people have been complaining about how pro play looked extremely similar. There are certain techniques and strategies and hero designs in the game of League of Legends that are just better in pro play. And so those characters saw way more play than everybody else, and it led to some really stagnant metas that the balance team would then have to dramatically attack and make big changes in order to shake things up and make the game
Oriana,
actually...
Syndra, Ezreal.
Yeah. Azir. Azir is
Azir,
one of the worst,
but
right?
I love watching Azir, but go ahead.
Yeah, right? These are talented, fun heroes that people love, but they would have to be nerfed into oblivion
Yes.
so that they wouldn't just be 100%
Yep.
representation.
Yep.
And people have been complaining about this for a very long time, and recently they have incorporated a fearless draft system wherein the moment you play a hero, you cannot play it for the rest of the series. So in a best of 5 game,
Okay.
there are 10 heroes selected, and then nobody on either team can play any of those 10 heroes.
Okay.
Maybe fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Oh wow.
I'm double checking because I think it's also, if it gets banned in one game, it also
Oh.
can't be picked or banned. But I'm
Like
double
bans are
checking.
permanent throughout the series?
I'm not 100% sure.
That would be
I
It
don't think
depends on
bans
the
are
exact-
permanent because I've seen repeat
Yeah.
bans
Okay.
on the LACL.
If it's been picked in the first
Um,
round, then it's just not playable for the rest of the series. After
if
that.
it's
Yeah.
picked. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's picked. Okay, wow.
Mhm.
By the same team is what I'm reading.
Oh.
Oh, same team. So other team can pick it too.
Yes. The
Okay.
version that I'm reading, which I think was the like
So it could, in theory,
The
show up
the
every.
Chinese Challenger
It
League.
could show up every
No.
round where in the
games.
in the first game, it's picked on one side. In the second game, it's banned. In the sense that it's showing up in the same draft. Then the second game, it's banned by the same team that picked it, so that the other team doesn't.
That is one version of it. I'm trying to verify
Okay.
which.
Yeah,
For-
there's
But,
lots of nuances. to
yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
The
but-
point of it is to
How does this-
expand competitive diversity.
So how do you think Fearless Draft works in Flesh and Blood? Because I don't play best of fives unless it's before the Armory against
Very much
the most
so.
ruthless people in the Roanoke area.
Very much so.
It is both teams the way they've implemented it.
Okay.
Across the board, they
That's
were
kinda
testing
cool.
it with the other team could pick it, but
Yeah.
it is both teams are prohibited from using a pick.
Oh, okay. So it is.
So in Flesh and Blood,
Okay.
how would this look, right?
Yeah.
In Flesh and Blood, if you have earned points on a hero in a given season, a PQ season, an RTN season, you are no longer allowed to register that hero at big events. You can register it at your armories. But
Okay.
anything that gives living legend points, you are no longer allowed to play that hero.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
For just to clarify for myself. So, like, do you get LO points in a skirmish?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you probably couldn't say for tier 2 events and above.
Skirmish is tier 1.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. You couldn't say tier 2 events and above because skirmish
you
is
could.
tier 1. I guess you could, and then you could keep
Yeah,
re-registering a
I
deck in
don't
skirmish.
I don't want that restriction on skirmish, which
Okay.
is supposed to be more
A little more casual
anyways.
anyways. That makes sense.
I don't know if I want that as well. I think, and one of the big reasons is what Tim just put in the chat. That is very cost prohibitive. You need to have how many decks potentially? At least 2.
Well, if you're good.
Sure.
If the better you are, you need 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, like this is definitely unpopular. This suggestion is unpopular with everybody who like tries to win multiple events in a given season.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sure.
100%. And I could even say like, look, if like there are callings and battle hardens that can happen in the same season as like
Yes.
PQs and RTN. So like are these big traveling world tour players going to
whoa.
win a PQ and then they can't play that hero at the callings or battle hardens?
Or
It's
at
weird.
the Pro Tour?
Yeah, definitely not sort of what I'm going for with this.
Okay, not okay.
I'm trying to. I don't want to attack the Brody Spurlocks of the world.
It would be like
Michael Hamilton
for the season or for the event, but the event would still only be one event that day.
Or
so
specifically
you know
a
what?
set of
It could be that weekend's event to stop Tao Tao from putting points on Arachne twice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's kind of funny, but
I think the main idea is that I want to encourage talented players from not just picking top decks and spamming them at local events and getting a lion's share of points. I want them to be encouraged to have to go to other decks and other strategies and try to play multiple things in a given meta and try to help distribute the meta share of points earned. Now, this is making a few assumptions. One is that only the most talented World Tour players are like the people getting the lion's share of points. And I would love a data point I would love to back this suggestion up is the amount of individual names that have contributed to the honor roll. Like, how long is the honor roll on Starvo, Oldhim, Lexi, Aurora? I want to try to calculate those and compare them and see if there is a trend happening where there are less and less names on the honor roll as time goes on because the best players are the ones who win local events, and it's just whatever they happen to be on.
I mean, you can just go grab the honor rolls and drop them into an Excel sheet and however many rows they fill out.
The Aurora one isn't out yet.
Sure.
I got off of work 10 minutes ago.
That's a good well, that's a good point. That's a good point. I think a more interesting question that LSS could answer if they felt like it was how many times are people double dipping in a season?
Yes.
Is Brody Spurlock winning a pro quest or a like 4 or 5 pro quests in a season all on the same hero? Is he switching it up after he was? Well, I guess that's probably true. I was gonna be like,
I think there are some seasons where people would, and there would be seasons where people get their win on the best deck, and then they go play what they want. Because like I know a bunch of people who have done that, especially in this season. They go just win with Aurora, and then they play what they want afterwards, and do that. But like, if I got to win on Prism in week 1, am I not? I might not play PQs.
I mean, and maybe we shouldn't. Maybe people shouldn't be stacking PQ invites in a given season.
But then why have the invite like that's why the invites pass down, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a very, very good point. I think there's
How
a
far does
lot
it pass
in the
down?
competitive scene that can kind of be tweaked.
Okay.
And
Goes down a second.
this was a big hot idea. I'm not even 100% behind it. I think you can
Okay.
hear it in my tone of voice.
Yeah.
I
I
talk
think
about it.
I think that's fine. I mean, to ask these kind of questions or to propose these kind of ideas is always healthy. Just like you look at the stupid lines that your hands could do, like pitching reds, even if it's not obviously what you're going to do, because you just need to double check everything.
Yeah.
I think there's also a much higher potential for people to just split and concede finals if
Yeah.
they're incentivized to not win, especially like
Which I think is a
it's
problem.
it's another layer of motivation there,
I hate.
which they're trying to discourage by like because the invite passes down, they're
Yeah.
trying to discourage that type of like prize splitting,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just give them a very significant motivation to just concede to split and concede finals if they plan to play four more.
Yeah, so it may not
yeah.
even accomplish the thing I would like it to accomplish.
Yeah.
But I think the core of this, which is to prevent a single deck from LLing super fast, I think is something we can all agree on.
Yes, but specifically how, right?
Yeah.
It's not because I've seen some people say like point caps.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some people say like way more bans. I think all of those things have issues. This is trying to do it in a very roundabout, incentive-based way, where it's trying to push people off of a hero. People who can consistently win these events, pushing them off of just using one hero and trying to spread those points out to the entire roster so that the bottom of the LL leaderboard kind of gets a little bit more lifted rather than just the specific top heroes all racing towards the top.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do. It's hard to do that way, but I don't know. Keep playing hero, but the next time you win, it doesn't count. Like maybe if like the LL points pass down or something along with the invite or something. I don't hate. Like I don't like that because like how many LL points just get deleted out of a season and they don't have control over that. Like that's part of the reason they moved it to. It's a set number of points per season. Is them trying to control how many points go into the system.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit closer, or like a year out when they don't know how many PQs they're going to have, they know how many LL points are going to go into the system.
Yes.
So if you're just suddenly taking points out of that pool because the same person won 2 PQs, that's just like another layer. And then also that starts getting weird when a hero gets close to LL. Does one person winning 5 PQs with Aurora only get 3 LL points for Aurora?
And we don't want that to happen if we're ever in like a Lexi situation, right? Where it's like, this hero has been a metaforce for 2 years. Can they please be gone already?
That's interesting because we did kind of go through both extremes where we had Lexi for what felt like forever, and then we had Aurora, which felt like for a flash, and balancing that is really tricky. It feels really tricky. Which is where I'm going to lead to. I think I brought this up before the show. This was a take I saw on the internet. This is not my take, but I'm going to champion it for right now, which is the idea of just finding another way to really, like, adding a stipulation to LLing other than just LL points. The idea I saw was a hero would require a tier 3 plus win in order to LL. Does Aurora have a calling win? Yeah.
Yes. Calling San Paulo was, I think, what...
Sao Paulo for sure. I think there was another one.
I think the official take that the person had was they should have 3 plus 3 plus or 3 plus tier 3 events, which is a lot. That's winning 3 callings or something like that.
So much variance you have to overcome to
get
3 of those events on a hero. Like,
yes.
I don't know about that.
But how do you feel about the idea of having an extra stipulation on LL other than LL points?
It depends.
It depends on what it is, I assume.
Yeah, because if you just say blanket tier 3 event, all nationals go into that bucket.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And does winning the 8-person Luxembourg national championship count?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. You got to be the best person in Luxembourg. I think. I don't know.
We're gonna send some weird heroes out real quick.
Bye, Lavaya.
Yeah.
Finland says you're too good.
How many?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zen won a calling.
Okay, he did win a calling.
What's his face? Nick Butcher won a calling on Zen.
Of course he did.
Also, Charles Dunn did.
Oh yeah.
He won calling Amsterdam. Not Amsterdam. Yeah, Amsterdam.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yes.
I don't know.
Like, I'm pretty sure like every hero would have LL'd that had that was the stipulation of a tier 3 plus event, because like it's hard for a deck to be good enough to LL and not have a tier 3 plus event. When,
so many
like
points.
Maybe Viserai, I'm not 100% sure, but he's been around so long he probably did at some point. I know he won national championships because he won Australian Nats at one point.
I think the thing that when you look at Aurora compared to other heroes that have LL'd, looking at their speed, I'm ignoring Starvo, outliers, if you will. If you're trying to like figure out, okay, what specifically was something she did different that the other ones did, it's really hard to not say it was just the fact that it is the new hero deck, and so it's not only the best deck, it's the highest quantity deck because it's the one that everyone's starting the game on during a big boom of players. And I think that's just why it keeps falling back on maybe they should have just been more aggressive with bans, because that's the only thing to keep her from, I almost want to say, from being the best deck, which would feel kind of bad to say, but I don't know if Flicker Wisp keeps her from being the best deck or not.
I don't think it keeps her from... I think she's still probably very slightly the best deck, but maybe you end up with a weird triangle of Florian, Aurora, and stuff that deals with Florian, which is all the stuff that Aurora like really beat up on. But I think they also were... They anticipated that Aurora would be LLing in that season, because they don't put Aurora in their product 1 year from now without Aurora without the expectation that Aurora would have LL'd.
Yes, that was going to be something I'd bring up if you guys still want me around. I know I've been taking a lot of time, and so if you want to bring another game,
no, go ahead.
Feel free to, but okay. Expanding our time frame out from just Aurora, I think there's also been a pattern of LSS wanting to print strong things for new players.
Yeah.
Like, I think we saw this with Miss Vale being a little pushed in power, knowing that they were trying to enter the Japanese market. They wanted to do it with a splash. But now, almost a year later, we are looking at nearly all of the Miss Vale cards being unplayable. Yep. I think it's almost too short-sighted to say print strong things for new players. Yep. And because it's just gone too quick with the Living Legend system. And it's a strategy that is short-term gain for maybe some long-term ramifications. Now, what those ramifications are, we'll have to see, right? I think LSS is going to have much better data on this. Are distributors and LGSs pissed off that they're holding on to First Strike and Armory decks that are literally unsellable and have lost all their value? Are they burning bridges there? How badly are those bridges being burned? Are players leaving the game, or are they pivoting to Acilio and Florian and Vincent? It's possible, right? They have Dyadic Carapaces, Face Purgatories, and Grasps.
And you can
That's
see
a
those
lot
numbers.
of
They've been
money.
asking for hero data, like even at Armories, just like
Well, they're gonna see it in a week.
sure,
They don't have it yet.
yeah,
hmm But it's going to be interesting, right? Because that's essentially Magic the Gathering strategy with the Universes Beyond. We're going to print this thing, bring in a bunch of new players, and once they're invested, they will find their way to our other products. Even if that hurts your underlying main base of players, it doesn't matter because everyone's sticking around because they're all invested and they like the game enough still.
So this,
It's
yeah, go
all
ahead.
a matter of evaluation there.
This does bring me to a point which I was going to bring up. However much this is worth, some like, what's the word I'm looking for? Anecdotal. I'm gonna bring up some like real world. This is what I've noticed locally. Is we had a local that picked up Aurora. It was like 2 months after Aurora was released. I think maybe it was like a month after it was they were released. They've been playing Aurora pretty much the whole time. And then when I asked, I think I brought this up last week. When I asked, what are you gonna do now that Aurora's LL? They're like, one, I have 2 other CC decks, and because they've become invest. That's what they did. Is they played Aurora. They had so much fun with it. They're like, I want to build more decks, and they built 2 more decks of other heroes they like, and they actually like branched out. It wasn't even a Runeblade, and it wasn't even Lightning. It was just like Fang seems fun. I forgot what the other one was. If it was like Prism or something, but like they just trying out different decks, and then I was like, well, what are you going to do with the Aurora deck? And they're like, actually, I'm really interested in trying to see if I can make Aurora work in LL, which is kind of cool because then they're branching out into different formats. I do also know another person who got the Aurora deck. They played Aurora some. They were like, okay, I understand the game. I understand the aggro matchup. I'm not having as much fun playing Aurora. And they just pivoted completely over into a different class. I forgot what class it was. Hopefully not mechanologist, but it was and so like I think at a local level that I'm seeing, it's fine. It's working out fine. But I mean, if you just think about it for a second about how fast Aurora left and all the circumstances surrounding it, there's got to be people who are just like, wow, I just bought into this deck 3 months ago. She's gone. Frick. Let me go try out Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something silly like that.
The brand damage is certainly apparent at the very least.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is something that I'm a little concerned about because the Aurora looks bad. Flesh and Blood's not going anywhere. Everyone knows that. But there is the statement of because it used to be something like this would happen, and a specific caster would say almost every week on their podcast that this is the make or break thing right here. Flesh and Blood is not going to be able to handle it after this point. I don't know if you're reacting to me or you're reacting to something someone wrote, but like
someone had a banlist take.
Yeah, no, I see that take. That is.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I want to talk about it, but also they said they couldn't be on.
No, this is a different one.
Oh, this is a different one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm not reading all that right now. Okay, so the frick, what was I saying? Frick, what was I saying? I got so distracted. Yes, with the Aurora, the way that she's LLing, and the fact that it affects potentially new player experiences, the box allocation stuff that happened in the Hunted, and it's looked like it is happening for High Seas. These things, and then also potentially these Armory decks not selling very well. These are all things that is really disrupting people outside of the game, right? Which is not something you want to happen. You want people to get pissed off because they got hit by Leave No Witnesses, not pissed off because their Heavy Hitters or High Seas box is going to be $200 or something. I don't know. there's a lot of weird stuff going on in Flesh and Blood right now, but do you have anything you want to add to this, Kevin? Are you reading the ban list right now that you just sent me? Or you already read it?
I already read it.
Whoa! I just read it.
Yeah.
I'll put this in chat for people to see, but I don't think I could bring this up if you wanted me to, but
Nah.
okay. I don't know. I think Flesh and Blood is going through something right now, which is pretty crazy, but I'm sure they'll get out of it. They always do. They learn from their mistakes better than anybody. So.
I would say that the tone that Brian and James had on the most recent dev talk was very positive for me. If they were sort of flippant about it, if they were sort of like, yeah, we knew she would be strong, but she left a little bit sooner than we would have liked. Don't worry, it's coming back next year, and we had this planned out from the beginning. I think there was a much different situation here. I think they know how much they didn't want it to look like this.
I think,
and so that's appreciated.
I think the video was great because when they started it, I was like, oh no, the whole thing's going to be doomer. But the tone really felt like they knew they messed up, and they were very clear and open and took that, and they took it to heart as well. But at the same time, they were confident. Like, they seemed like they were ready to get back in it and do something, make good changes off of it. And that's exactly what I want to see. I don't want to see, like, I'm sorry, and the video ends. It felt...
We'll try to do better.
It felt actionable.
Don't
felt
give
like
us a YouTuber on the couch video.
Yeah. It wasn't that, and it wasn't it wasn't that, and it wasn't a whatever. We'll do better next time.
It wasn't the South Park. We're sorry.
Yeah,
we're sorry.
It's exactly what I was thinking about. I don't know. The dev talk, as always, inspired confidence in me as well. I am excited for what they're doing, and I should be, because I made terrible investments in this game, in the sense of, as I've mentioned, where I swapped out of Guardian into Assassin before Guardian cards got good, and while Assassin cards are still good. Like, a terrible monetary investment in Flesh and Blood. So I have to be, I have to be positive for this game, but I think it'll be fine. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I will let the people have more of the two of you guys. If they want to listen to more of me, they can catch me and my co-host at Pitch It To Me podcast.
Yeah.
We just did an episode talking about Aurora's situation that we recorded before the dev talk. And that goes into more of our opinions about pre-con products and the whole pipeline, the competitive nature of the game, and how it played into all of this. And it's a pretty good conversation. I enjoy it. That came out just on Tuesday. And if I can be so bold, I will tease that perhaps you will hear me and Smurph together on a upcoming episode, maybe, perhaps, sort of.
Holy possibly. Frick!
Collaboration.
Holy frick! Kevin, who's your agent? Holy frick! Well, I appreciate the call. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah. So long, farewell.
Goodbye.
Take care of yourselves.
Thank you. Kevin, moving up in the big world, in the fab world. I heard your name. I've now heard your name on multiple podcasts. Because you were on. I'm gonna gloat about Kevin for a second. He was on Fresh and Buds. You're gonna be on their podcast. I've heard you mentioned by Logan several times on Flesh and Pod, and then today I heard you mentioned on Runaways. Yep. In not like, that one was funny because that one wasn't like the most positive. They were like, or it was positive. It was just in the sense of like, not everyone is going to be great all the time. Some people just need their moment, like Kevin or something like that. Did you watch The Runaways?
That was not at all what they said.
Okay.
They
Go ahead.
Someone asked them like, what results should I look at how to tell if I'm improving? What results should I look at?
Yeah.
And all of them were like, don't look at results.
Yeah.
Just look at how you're
Trust
playing
the
and
process.
trust that you're improving.
Yeah.
And Kevin is an example of that because he's been on the grind for years.
Yeah.
And then it's just been steady improvement, one step at a time.
Yeah.
And then he has his breakout and then carries that momentum forward and keeps going.
I worded that all poorly. It was the
You did.
No, I did. I was thinking more on the lines of you getting into getting those high
getting the results.
Getting the results as the results eventually showed up and they weren't always there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like that's the way it works is like you're not always you don't start out good enough to get those results, even if you want them. And it's like, if you want them, you have to not play for the result at a specific event.
Yeah.
And I think Noah nailed it.
Yeah. When he was
on
like,
how he described the approach that I have and that our testing team has, which is you cannot look at the results for a specific event. You should not set a goal of win this event. It's not good for you.
Yeah. The question of how do I know I'm getting better? The answer is more of you'll know. Yes. If you should be able to look at your play and say, I didn't make the same mistake as last time. I still made mistakes. Yes.
But I didn't make the same mistake again, which just means there's more stuff to fix. There's always more stuff to fix.
Yeah.
But like, no, I thought their reference to me was very positive.
It was
not.
It was just
pointing at me and being like, nah, you sometimes get it. It's like, no, they looked at me and they're like, no, he has the work ethic and he earned it. And it took time because it always takes time.
Yeah.
Then I have been on a tear for
you've been
months
on a tear. You got to keep up the tear.
I mean, I'm going to keep trying, but like,
it's okay, Tim. I know you're improving. Beat the piss out of me on Wednesday. Holy frick. I want to say it was mostly my fault, but also Tim just plays super clean. So, all right. So the next thing that I thought was funny, and maybe this gets a short mention, but Skizzix got misprinted.
Serenade.
Yeah, whatever.
Close enough.
Skizzix Tutor got misprinted. I genuinely forgot what the name of the actual card was because all I remember is Skizzix. But yeah, it was supposed to be 4 modes, pick 2. Instead, it was 3 modes, pick 2, and had an innate go again as opposed to go again being one of the modes. That's just wild to me that it happened. I don't think there's a lot to talk about there.
It's such an insane difference in the card.
Yeah, it's
such an insane difference.
Yeah.
You go from it defining the deck and like fundamentally changing the way the deck plays. Like I think you literally see 0 copies in the top 64 of the PT for Serenade,
which probably means they might come off mask or the hat, face purgatory. They come off the face.
Significantly disincentivize them to run face purgatory. So then I think the decks that you saw in top 8 from PCG Invasion probably look different, and they still look like the Discharge Flittering decks. Like the deck is significantly weaker.
Yeah.
It just loses a 0-for-4 Lightning card.
Still really good, but not as good.
Yeah, the deck is still very solid.
Yeah,
It's
super solid.
Before.
Yeah.
But like getting just a 0-for-4 Lightning card is nuts. It's just such an insane thing. Like the card is like actually I think unplayable in CC competitively, and it is templated exactly the same as Written in the Stars is, which is you benefit when you are playing it. It is because you have played an Arc Lightning immediately before it.
Yes,
and that is so wildly different from the card
combo
we got.
Cards. Yeah.
Which and also nothing against LSS on this one.
Oh no,
A
like
mistake happened, and
yeah, mistakes
whatever.
mistakes happen. That seems like a very like when I say obvious mistake, where it's obvious in the sense of you look at it and you go, oh, I could have made that. That could have been me.
Yep.
I could have
Oh,
easily
yeah,
have
yeah.
done that, right? Like it's just.
I wonder. I mean, I think they just banned Flicker Wisp on the next ban list. They just put it there because Aurora's going to come back and she's going to have Arc Lightning, so you just get rid of Flicker Wisp and be done with it. I don't think they touch Serenade though.
Oh,
because it's in the.
Oh, you're just talking about the ban list in general.
Oh well, I'm just talking about
the next
Aurora
ban?
and what do they do with Serenade? Because they're bringing Aurora back.
Now that Aurora's coming back, that we know that she's coming back. Well, I think she comes back, and it's going to be like Aurora, and the name would be something like Aurora generic Lightning Runeblade, and it is a Lightning Runeblade with no text.
Yeah.
Or maybe a text like a Cilio, which is no text. But I don't actually think they would do that. I think you're right. I think there would just be a ban, which was going to be my next statement, which was I'm not going to call this speculation, and I don't really want to speculate on what. I mean, it's more of like, what do you think should happen, I guess, or what takes have you seen other people give that like kind of make sense or maybe don't make sense?
I kind of like the if they. I don't mind banning Scepter. I don't mind banning Reaping Blade. I don't mind banning both because that actually puts the meta in an interesting spot where Florian has to run Rotwood Reaper.
That's so
just,
crazy
like,
you said that, Tim. I love that in a weird way. Getting both of those banned is funny.
His floor just changes so drastically.
Yeah.
Where it's like he just doesn't have Grasp Sword for a 1-card 5 in late game, which is wildly different for the way games play out in like any mid-range format.
There's like a weird world of like you do Tunic, Pitch a Blue, activate Grass Swing, Rotwood Reaper for 6.
Do you give up Bark Skin though?
Oh
Barkskin with
no,
double embodiment
you don't give up
is
Bark
so
Skin.
nuts.
No, you don't give up Bark Skin.
Because you would run Tunic now for just Tunic Reaping Blade.
Yeah, that's true. A 0-card 3.
Yeah. I don't think they ban Wildfire. I think they just let Kano rotate so they can then ban Wildfire.
Tim bringing up Wildfire in chat.
Make it a better, yeah.
So you
I
think
they just need to make a better wizard because none of the other wizards play Wildfire. It's literally only Kano. Let Kano rotate and then get rid of Wildfire. It's fine. It's multiplicative damage, and Wildfire is only a problem because you have Blazing Aether. If you don't have Blazing Aether, Wildfire is irrelevant.
I mean, it's like, it's irrelevant. It is a card. It is a card that is. It's not awful.
Who is playing Wildfire?
No one's playing Wildfire.
How many other heroes have access to Striders?
If they banned Blazing Aether, what does Kano do?
Kano? That might be better than banning.
Hey! Well, that's what I'm thinking. Is I think Wildfire is an interesting card that can be powerful in the correct circumstances.
Yes.
What does he do if?
I think Kano is going to feel significantly worse to play as and play against because they are entirely dependent on Overflow the Aether Well and Open the Floodgates. And they become entirely dependent on going to the casino there.
That feels so bad.
Like,
unless there's like a pitch stack version in
don't
certain decks, but still.
I mean, they're like half stacking right now, is what I'm hearing, into like Florian and stuff. But like, I don't like that version, and I don't like where Kano is. Just let him LL, get him out of your system, and like, then you can deal with Wildfire and get rid of it. Because like, obviously, if you're gonna have a hero that's consistently playing on the opponent's turn, like Wildfire is a consideration, but Icelander never had enough stuff, and also just got nerfed because it was only blue cards she could play on the opponent's turn. Like, she never played Wildfire.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like...
No, I guess that's a good point.
It's just Kano, and it's just because it's multiplicative with Blazing Aether, where you just go 6x on it.
I think I like Wildfire being in the meta more than I like Blazing Aether. Just that card seems.
I mean, now that they have all the
interesting.
surge stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems so much more interesting.
You also like, you don't have a Blaze that is consistently playing on the opponent's just playing something on the opponent's turn. But also then Wildfire is just like, you have to be able to play multiple things on the turn for it to be worth it.
That's why it's interesting, is because you have to like set up these big turns or get desperate.
But then, then Blazing Aether just makes it multiplicative, and that's the issue. But I don't know. I don't think they hit anything. If they hit anything from Kano, it's like just Floodgates or just Overflow, and it'd probably be just Floodgates, which is just hilarious that Kano is eating more and more bans on books and draw twos.
Yeah.
But the deck just is going to become so degenerate and casino-y that I don't know. I don't know what to do with that at that point.
Do you want to give me your take on what you think should get banned, or I just rattle off some big names that people are asking about bans and you give your opinion on that?
Probably that one, because I don't know what I would need this ban list to look like, because we also don't know what High Seas is.
True.
Like,
so I'm not going to ask.
Half of this, like, we don't know what is going on with these three heroes.
Like the Armpit brings up 3 Oak.
Yeah. That we know some stuff about what Marlin is doing.
Yeah.
Because her hero ability is just very good with 3 of a kind. As well as Death Dealer. I've seen both of those get talked about. I wouldn't hate it, just because there is a lot of combo potential and synergy with Marlin as a deck, where she can use 3 Oak very readily because of New Horizons and because of her ability that just says you get 2 reloads for free off 3 Oak.
Okay, so kind of yeah.
Because you can like easily send 3 arrows in a turn, with 3 Oak and Death Dealer, because you get 4 reload. You get 4 arrow loads, which is kind of nuts.
Kind of nutty. So, Florian gets hit. Yes or no? You think so? Probably. The Wizards get hit in some way. I've been hearing a lot of people complain about the potentiality of Wizards, the potential of Wizards.
I mean, it's like you. It's so hard to like deal with multiplicative damage in combo. This is something we've talked about before. Is like combo as a mechanic in this game is just like always one card from being busted and one card from being absolutely trash.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you can't. As soon as you do something that's multiplicative in this game, whereas most decks are additive, like that's a problem. Where it's like that's also like the illusionist thing, and you're just like slowly multiplying usually, and you're not instantaneously being multiplicative, which is what Wizard does.
Yeah.
Which Verdance has to work much harder for it than Kano does. Well, Verdance does have to work harder, not necessarily much harder, but she does have to work harder than Kano does. So I don't know if Wizard gets hit. I don't think Wildfire gets hit. Like you just LL'd Kano at that point. He's just gone.
Yeah.
There's no two.
He's not doing anything.
That deck will not function without Wildfire at this point. If you wanted to hit like Will of Arcana or Kindle,
I think it would suck
those
if you
could
hit
be
Kindle.
interesting. It would, but like, or restrict Kindle or something. But like also,
I hate restrictions.
Ban Potion of Deja Vu or something like that. There's ways to
there's other ways to hit it. Yeah.
There's ways to hit Kano that doesn't gut him, but also doesn't make him inevitable. Where it's like your deck is slow enough. He's gonna set up a Wildfire for 9. Sucks.
The next one I was gonna say is freaking old cards that are for LO heroes, basically like Traverse, like Enigmas and cards.
Yeah.
You think those get hit?
If they want to get rid of Traverse now, they probably can. I think they would just wait till new goes anyways, just so that the new players have access to it. It's not doing anything in
Yeah.
where it's a problem. That's fine. Feels weird banning Fabled. Yeah, sure. It'd probably be Kindle, or
Cries
Deja
and
Vu or
Bolton
something
combo.
like that goes. But
yeah. And I guess with that, Traverse getting banned or other Mystic cards, or probably Traverse, right? And then the other one being Aurora cards. You think Serenade or Flicker or something, or Flicker.
I don't think Serenade gets hit.
Yeah,
just because it is in the Armory deck. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a weird errata at some point where they just shipped out a bunch of Serenades to LGSs for.
That would be cool.
Whenever you sell an Armory deck, here's the correct Serenade.
That would be kind of neat. And they've done erratas in
that
since before with the traps when Riptide came out.
Those were very minor erratas relative to this one.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
But this is one that it's not super difficult to implement because it's not a card from a booster pack.
That's true. I will say, my opinion is I think Aurora does get hit, and I think she gets hit because I think it fully cements even more so. All right, we're coming back to this. They've already said it like 7 times, but like putting a ban says, okay, we're coming back to this. You can know ahead of time when she comes back that this is banned for that reason, so she can come back, right? And just cement that on the table. The next one would be CYB. I think that gets banned. I've heard a lot of people ask for it. I've heard some people say that it should happen.
I wouldn't be surprised just because it is like such a negative play experience for most people. But I'm not. I think if you hit Reaping Blade, you probably need to hit CYB.
Yeah.
But I'm not like.
Blade, you need to hit CYB. I think that's a good point.
I'm not like super. It needs to go necessarily, just because like
I want to play with
heroes playing it.
I want to play with blue CYB. But that's
full,
I want to play with it. I'm not saying that it's healthy. I'm saying I want to play with it. So
getting more graveyard hate, yeah.
Why would they ban
we are getting
CYB?
more graveyard
That's great. Yeah,
to...
I like that take. People complain about generics all the time. Are they going to hit any generics that you can think of? I brought up CYB, but like the big offenders are always the Majestic, Legendary,
CNC, Sync, Fate, Shelter.
Yeah.
I don't
Tunic.
think so.
I don't think so.
I think
either.
they can't hit Tunic yet because classes haven't filled out their chess pieces enough to make it work. And the disparity between a class that has Barkskin and a class that has Alluvian Constellas is not fucking close.
I guess that's a good point.
Like
True.
And some decks actually just like fall apart if they don't have Tunic.
Yeah.
Like they drop a full tier if they don't have Tunic. But then it's like I have Rapture and Vestige, and it's like, sure, if Tunic goes away, like that just benefits me a ludicrous amount.
Tunic is such an iconic card; it can't go away. Is my opinion.
I understand that, but I don't think that's the way they should run the game.
True.
Depending on where the game ends up, I really think the game is not in a place where you can ban Tunic, though. And I think the game is not in a place where you can ban Command and Conquer, especially when you just put it in a set one set ago. If you wanted to ban, like, Weakest Link or something, I guess. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why that card is $60 still.
I feel like I'm looking at all the other heroes that are playable, and I'm just not seeing ones where I'm like, oh, this one's doing something egregious. Like, it's literally just...
The game is going to be pretty slow and kind of like...
If they do almost nothing, I feel like it's...
Yeah, this meta is going to be heavy hitters with some arcane.
They're gonna hit pay up just to make people upset for pre-buying them. I don't.
They want wage gold to be better, which wage gold could be sick.
Could be
because it becomes a pirate card. As well, and it becomes
a necromancer.
It becomes
a
pirate
ranger
card.
Mechanologist? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wait, that card's insane.
Scepter Florian? I don't know that Scepter Florian is even that egregious.
Well, okay, no, from like a play experience.
If the meta slows down enough that you can punish, that it can't be punished, sure. But I think there's like stuff on deck ready to deal with it.
I also, that was the scenario I was thinking of. I think the scenario where it's punishable by most decks, but then people still bring it, and then some people have bad play experiences. As the person playing Assassin, I am okay with the occasional someone has a bad play experience against me. That's actually what I'm trying to go for. I'm hoping that
that's Assassin's class identity. That my opponent will occasionally not play the game.
I mean, there was like, that's kind of how you'd play Bravo at one point. It was like you stack your deck to where you try to play Crippling Crush dominated or play Spinal Crush dominated every turn. Yeah, Terra Sunder, Hammer, anything.
Yeah, I remember Tim trying to do that to me.
Yeah, trying.
Yeah, and then I Frost-Hex comboed him.
Oh, what's your opinion? I know we're already over, but what's your opinion on Aurora getting an announcement for the next deck before we've seen Dromai or Icelander? Because I don't care, but you like one of those heroes.
It's fine. I think they gave us a date on Aurora because they had a version of Aurora that was already finished.
Mm-hmm.
And that they liked. Which means that, like, I don't want a date. I don't care about having a date for the re-release of Icelander.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want them to make Icelander correct.
Okay.
I want it to do it well. I want them to do it well and design the hero well. And I don't care as much about a release date. They have that release date because they're like, yeah, Aurora went too soon. She will be back. Don't worry. You can keep all your cards. The armory deck's still going to be good. Like, I think that's fine. I don't love it that they gave an announcement date for that because they haven't done that before. And I think it's something they don't plan to do every time.
I think they actively don't want to do that, but
I think for the most part they don't want to do that, and this was an exception.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's fine. I understand why they did it, and I understand them not doing it for other heroes.
You know how I said one final thing? Well, one final thing. How are you going to feel about not being, what is it, the third highest rated player in the world? What was your
11th?
You were the 11th? Yeah. Okay. End of the year, that's going away. Your thoughts?
That's fine.
I assumed so.
My ELO doesn't matter.
No.
Because I already qualified for Singapore, which is the only thing I'm likely to qualify for off ELO. So why does my ELO matter?
You're qualified for Nats, right?
Yeah.
You're qualified for Singapore. You're qualified for Nats. Yeah, you're qualified for Singapore. You're qualified for Nats. You're fine.
So here's the thing. For me to keep an ELO that would qualify me for Worlds, I basically just need to qualify through Singapore or Nats. Yeah, so I've already got the invite. So what the fuck am I doing with my ELO?
Just win Nats, bro.
It's fucking pointless.
Well, okay, so ELO being a qualifier is for specific people in specific situations. Like, I don't know. Like there was a reason when they came out with it, and they were like, these people need ELO in order to get their invite. And I don't think so. Right? Like, isn't that the whole reason?
Well, no, the reason that it worked was because you had ELO to get your invite to the next event, and they gave you a PTI. And not just an invite to the next event.
You got a PTI for ELO?
No. So if you made top 32 at a Pro Tour,
sure,
you got a PTI, and your ELO was pretty good.
Yeah. You bank that PTI and you use your ELO in order to get into the next event. That sounds like, was that by design? or is that just how it worked out?
I don't know.
Because that sounds like not what LSS wants. Because it sounds
Yeah,
like
I
LSS
agree.
wants people to like gravy train.
Yeah.
You win an event, you get to go to the next one. Not exactly that, but like
You top 32, you get to go to the next one.
I think they don't
Which
want
is like-
people banking PTIs, or not as much.
Sure.
So
Sure. They have already they're saying they phased out ELO, or they're going to phase out ELO at the end of this year. They have already phased out ELO when they changed the invite system.
true.
When they changed it to not give a PTI. They already phased it out then.
Yep.
It's done. Because anyone who was like top 75 in the world in ELO was the top 8 of the last 3 PTs and the top 32 of the last PT. Is like the way it worked. So like you already had your invites. And I guess what ELO lets you do is go play 5 games at a local PQ if you can skip a PT. I could skip Singapore and then use my ELO to get a Worlds invite.
Yeah.
That's what I guess I could do. But then I just got an invite for Singapore that didn't mean anything. And it just got burned. All of it's redundant. The ELO's going away.
Yeah.
Great. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
I
I
don't want
think-
an incentive to not play.
I do understand the idea of them only wanting a certain. It seems like they only want a certain amount of like non-tethered PTIs to exist.
I guess.
But I don't know. I think there was a point in time when like Brendan Patrick had like 7 PTIs or something like that.
I mean, Brody and Fung are both like 25 plus.
Jeez, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, but like, holy frick.
It was. So I think the joke was Battle Hardened Baltimore, the team sealed for Outsiders. That was like 2 months after the PT in Baltimore. The team that won was Fung, Brody, and Dave Lim. And between them, they had 25 PTIs at the time.
That's so many. That's so many.
Which obviously they have more now because, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I can see why they want to do it. It sucks, but I can see why they want it. As from the company's perspective, I can understand why they only want so many floating around. I think that's it. I think that's all I had to talk about. And we covered a lot of ground. Yeah, that's so many.
it's ridiculous. And that was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, that was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Gosh. Okay, so
It's only gone up.
is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Showed up in the dev talk or showed up this week? No?
I don't think so. I think I'm good for now.
How's Prism feel?
She's fine. Your Florian matchup is hard, but I think it's over-exaggerated by the Florian players.
I'll say what all the comments are saying. Florian Prism video win. There's so many people saying that. I'm
There's
seeing
so many,
people
dude.
I'm seeing people say that without tagging you on Bluesky. Man, I hope that Prism video that he does one on Florian or something like that I saw on Bluesky the other day.
Jesus
It's like they weren't
Christ.
tagging you, they just brought it out into the aether that they wanted
They just
to know
shouted
how to
into the
play.
void.
Yeah, they wanted to know how to play Prism into Florian. I love that.
I'll see.
And maybe it's not that. It probably is more evergreen if it's how do you play into they have everything to fight you or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's because I also get this question about like the Victor matchup,
Oh yeah.
and
That's a good
it's
point.
really it's just like how do you play the Aura plan into a deck that has hate for the Aura plan,
Yep. That sounds good.
which is like then I can just go into like the different types and like how I adjust. So
It's gonna be exciting. So I guess thank y'all so much for watching. We do this every Thursday at 8 Eastern.
Yep.
And Saturday is not Mother's Day. Is it Sunday?
Sunday would be.
Sunday would be. Sunday's Mother's Day.
Those are always Sunday.
But Saturday is Mother's Day celebration at my parents' house. So no art stream this weekend. But we did just do a UPF game that was very fast but very fun. where we played with Armor X10's Merchant Market, which is based on the Commander variant Treasure Cruise. Pay 1 resource at the start of your turn, flip over a random aura from the top of this deck, and they were all like token auras. And I flipped Blood Rot twice, and I didn't think Blood Rot was in the deck twice, and died to Blood Rot. Spoilers. That was how I died. It was good. It was really good. All right. So I guess that's it. Thank y'all so much for watching. Bye.